Yes, we used to do that. Actually, we can do any time, but early in the morning. Early in the morning is the best time because we already have depend on the type of Qigong and Tai Chi. If we do the Qigong, that means it's stronger. We should be in the morning. And if we do Tai Chi, we can do later on in the evening. But if we don't have that option, we can do any time. Because the purpose of Qigong in the morning, we already have a few hours of laying down, relax. Now we need to have the positive energy to put it up. And that is get ready for a new day. And the Tai Chi, usually it is a very slow, smooth movement. So you can apply anytime, no problem. That just helps to bring more oxygen in. It can help to rejuvenate all the cell, and it also get clear up the meridian, the energy channel. So we can do anytime if we work continuously, tension, tired, exhausted. So we can do anytime.
So presumably the oxygen tension got 100%, was it? If you measure the oxygen percentage in blood, it would go up to 100 from 98 or 99 or something like that in a normal person.
Yeah.
Would that be right?
98. Someone go to 99, but if we practice meditation, we can have a very open, very wide range window. We can go down to about 65 to 70%. We still survive very good, very people. But with people without the practice, like we explained yesterday, mechanism for adaptation and survival.
What about the exercise that we always talk about, and the cardio, the heart rate, the lung function, that we have to walk, we have to jog. For in a monastic life, looks like that you are only doing meditations and all that. Is that already enough with the qigong and like the one we do this morning, and then we do the meditation? Would that be enough already for the heart? Because we were told, or a lot of education saying that we have to practice our heart rate every day, 15 minutes, or
Yeah, actually,
is that helpful or not helpful?
Right. I'm into talking about that in a minute. First, we have to distinguish between the exercise, the Qigong, and the regular exercise, the regular walking, and the sporting. The exercise and the Qigong, normally and correctly, we are bring in energy, right? Because we purposely concentrated in certain area, certain joint when we're doing that. So we're not only losing the energy by the brainstorm or by the jumping monkey mind and moving around. So we concentrate, we bring in energy, and we go from one part of body to the other evenly. So we bring in energy and we flood it. On the other hand, when we walk, doesn't matter, you do the very peaceful, very little work, just do the typing. You just sit there and you use the remote control to control anything. Very little work, but only one portion of your body works, so it's not balanced. And even though if you are the labor, you working in the field with a heavy job, still we have to pay attention to the object outside, not inside. So when our mind pay attention to the object outside, we will spend energy out. And also only one portion of the body work, not the rest of that, so it becomes imbalanced. The same thing when we do the sport thing. When we play sport, we always have to concentrate on the external object, and we have to follow the other people. So that means that we always be distracted and always send energy out. That's why it's losing energy than bringing energy. And also when we do when we play sport. Not many sport game. It helps to function all the joint, all the muscle, all the organ in our body. So that's like only exercise Qigong time is the best one, not only to rebalance all the muscle, the tendon, the joint, and all the organ. And also it brings in the real fresh energy. So that is different. And then depend, if we at the worthy people, we have to work, we have to eat on the wrong stuff, and we under stress. So that it gets stuck in the blood vessel, gets stuck in the meridian, in the energy channel. So sometimes we need to have a strong exercise to get the heart pump faster, stronger, to push on the obstacle, obstruction out. But if we not doing anything wrong, we eat correctly, we relax, we don't have any stressful, so the blood vessel is usually flexible. Right? And it don't have any knot to block the channel on the meridian on the energy channel. So we not really need to have a strong exercise. And then depend on the environment. If we live in the low and flat field, okay, we may have a chance like heat coming up. But if we live in a high mountain, cold temperature, hazard condition, definitely the monastic had to practice strong exercise to overcome the hazard condition, and also training the body to adapt to the very low oxygen concentration. So it depends on the diet, depends on the working environment, depends on the way we live. So the exercise will be different. And that's why I said when we do the warm-up, if you do the working meditation, it just helps to calm your mind only. It not really help much for the rejuvenate the energy in your body, especially if it not change the pressure in your body. So it's not really good for your heart. But jogging, jumping, climbing, it will make the pressure different, change all the time. So it helps the heart pump faster, stronger. Even though we do only 15 minutes, it's much better than okay, you have an hour walking. And then we need to do the stretching too, especially the spinal cord, because you know that it's not only important on the brain, right? All of the main in our spinal cord, it not only have the fluid, spinal fluid, it runs through it from the center, the energy center, up to the brain, through that. And then it have a nerve, the very big one, it's like our thumb. It has the artery and the vessel and all the nerve, it branches out. So then if we not exercise to stretch, to make it flow evenly, especially for the one who uses sleep on the very thick and soft mattress, overnight it blocks almost completely. When it's too soft, too thick, the surface area of our spinal cord be pressed completely. So that's why it blocks the flow of energy and the blood, so it's not good. If we sleep on a flat or kind of hard mattress, only a few points touch to the bed, and the rest it still have an empty space, so it moves faster, easier. So and then when we do the exercise, the stretching, it helps to rotate every single joint of the spinal cord, so it makes it the flow of energy, the nerve, the blood flow better. And you know, each of them responsible correlate to certain organ in our body. But you see, each of them take responsible for different, for different function. So if we can exercise, do stretching, like touching the earth, like stretching, like after we do the meditation, it will help to clear up all the obstacle obstruction internally and externally. See, from main organ to the muscle, to the tissue, to the nerve. So that's the second thing. The next one continue to the food. Yesterday we were talking about the very important of the constipation of the toxic substance in the blood intestine. And if we can recognize and we can change that one, it will help to solve a lot of problems. You know, we have a Crohn's disease, we have a bowel irritation disease, we have inflammation, we have a colitis, we have constipation, we have a back pain, we have a high blood pressure, we have a toxic, we have multiple sclerosis. Uncountable disease from the constipation. So if we recognize and we get rid of that, the first we feel less pain right away. The blood pressure go down right away. So we have many different fruit, food, vegetable, the seed. So you can select anything you have available in your house, in your garden, or in supermarket, and we can alternate to see which one works best for our body, because of different time, different body, it will have different one. That's why the nature gives us a lot of choice. So we have to try it. And then exercise, sometimes enough, but sometimes not enough. We need to have the external, that is exercise, the movement, but internally, what we put in that very important too. It's not only to give us the nutrition, it helps to combine all the toxic substance, and it also makes the movement of the bowel easier, it's more smooth, it's smoother, so it gets out easier. And then next, maybe tomorrow, we will learn about how to do massage, how to do the palpate, how to do the examination in our body, internally and on our face, to find out some abnormal spot. And then from that, we can do massage, we can do acupressure, to relieve the stress and help to put our get rid on the blockage. So this is whole many choice for the constipation. The other one we have here in the circulation system, this is one of the big problems now too. When we have too much fat, we have too much sugar, and we drink the wrong stuff, so it becomes sluggish. It becomes blocked in the circulation system. So it makes our heart have to work harder, make our lung have to work harder, and make our kidney have to work harder, and then finally it fails altogether. The next one, diabetic. Three of this one is hand in hand. If we have a one, it will lead to the other. So it's not difficult to recognize and to transform that. And if we really determine how to do that, we not really need medication. We not need to depend on any extra chemical. We have a whole bunch of food, fruit, and the herb to use for that. So you can use that like the food to supply energy. We can use that like a tea for your flavor for drinking, and you can use that for your enjoyment vitamin like fruit. So we can select depend on the season, and we alternate that. So we don't need to take extra chemical synthetic medication. So if we can control all that major basic problem, so we don't end up with cancer or with any severe disease. The other way to help you to select the food for your condition, this is a table of food with making our blood become acidic or alkaline. Whatever food can make our blood become acidic will suppress our immune system and make we feel weaker and easy vulnerable to the sickness, to the invasion. The food make our blood become more alkaline, it will boost up our immune system. Right? So when you say some herb, some medication, some combination, they claim the treatment for all, the best of all, that means they just target indirectly to the immune system. Clean up the body, boost up the immune system, and automatically it knows how to take care of the rest. So we can use, again, we have the diet, is one. We have
what was the illness? Sorry, what was the illness you could cure?
everything.
Everything.
Yeah, when the immune system is strong, okay, it can treat, it can take care of the external, the internal.
Can we have that on the email, this chart?
Which one?
Can you email this chart to us?
Yeah, okay, so I have a list of email and I will send out all the important paper for all of you. And you see it here in
the list is there.
The list of emails is here, yes.
We'll give it to you.
in here, they're not only talking about the food, they're talking about the environment and your attitude. That means the mental formation. When we have anger, when we complain, when we feel worried, it will make our blood become acidic. You see? When we have a loving kindness, we have a compassion, we have a love, okay, it makes our immune system become more stronger because it becomes alkaline.
You have 3 stars here, dairy products.
Yeah, okay. When I say 3 stars, that means you need to be very careful because if we know how to eat at the right time, that means we take advantage of the good side enough and we stop, don't continue. The problem with us, we always abuse because we don't know everything have both sides and we try to abuse. That's why you see in the pharmacy or in the medicine field, okay, they have a snack and they have a balance, right? And here the same, whenever you see the 3 stars or above that, we have to be careful a little bit. For example, the dairy product, if you use the milk, right, oh no good, because the molecule is too big. The cow gives to the baby only a few months and we take forever. That we abuse already, right? And then that's why I see on the baby now, I think almost about, I saw overall, it's more in America than in Europe. But most baby now, they have allergy from very early stage. And then after that, they have the skin reaction. They have eczema. Terrible. And if we know how to use the dairy product correctly, like yogurt, but yogurt you buy out there, it's many different ways of making that. So we have to know how to select a good one. It will help to rejuvenate your flora. It helps for people with Crohn's disease or people with constipation. But for people with the zinc condition, people with the immune system suppressed, people with big belly already, now you use that, and it makes it worse because it stimulates the mucus coming out more. See, so we have to understand the mechanism of action. The same thing like egg. It's really good. If you have a good liver we don't eat anything, and we need this one. It has a lot the protein, the vitamin, etc. But if we already overeat and we had a problem with the liver, and now we eat this one, okay, it's very hard to digest, and all the cholesterol it build up too quick and it clogs the blood vessel. See, and if we have the omelette, okay, if we have the boiled one, okay, but and then some people they just boil it and they leave overnight. You know, this one it absorbs the negative because it really positive. Actually, it's very young compared to the vegetable, compared to other stuff. It's really good. But and then if we cook wrong time, it will leave too long out there. It absorbs the negative energy in because it has a very strong affinity. It's very potent to absorb that. That's why if we leave it too long out there, it absorbs all the negative energy, and by eating the egg, we're eating the negative energy.
So if you've cooked it and left it too long?
Yeah.
Right.
And then also, the way we dry the hand now, as you see the movie the other day,
Yes.
it's in comparison, okay, the heart, the muscle, the everything, okay, terrible. So if we eat that one, and all of that genetic, all that energy is in the egg. So and then we end up with a lot of problems and we don't know. The
So
ketchup.
What's the safest way of eating an egg then? A boiled egg eaten immediately, or?
If you can have organic one,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
right? And if you can do like scrambled egg,
Yes.
very good.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why you see in the hospital, for the sick in the hospital, they used to do that for the very weak, very sick people.
Yes.
So they not fry, they not do the omelette, they
Yes.
just scramble.
Yes.
Yeah. It's easy to digest, and okay, it not have a lot of oil, and it not use a high temperature.
And it's the right-hand side which supports immunity. Yes.
No, it's the alkaline, isn't it?
Yes, that's the right-hand
Oh,
side.
sorry. It's
Thank you.
And then the ketchup, if you can search on the website, because I don't have enough time to show you that. This is all the chemical. It's not a tomato. Alright, it's not tomato. Tomato is really good for your heart. But unfortunately, okay, it is nothing with all the vegetable, all the tomato, all the chemical. The lemon,
Yes.
really good. But because some people they have the wrong concept. They think, okay, whenever it's anything salty, it will damage our stomach. Because the worriness and that signal will send out from our central nervous system, and it stimulates the stomach to secrete the acid. But it's not the lemon, not the lemon juice. You see, that is the trick. When we worry, and because we have a misconception, we have a misunderstanding, the acid in our stomach is about 1,000 times more potent than the lemon juice. Right? If you measure the pH of acid 1 or 2, that means, okay, if we drop one drop of that on the metal, okay, it can melt, it can erupt much faster than the lemon juice. So if we put lemon juice in our stomach, it compares to nothing. But because we imagination, wrong thought, wrong concept. So when we worry about, okay, it stimulates our central nervous system, and when central nervous system is stimulated and it affects the stomach, like yesterday the patient get admitted into the emergency room. You see, that's tricky. If we know how to use that, this is very advanced, it's very helpful. And you know now, okay, this is one of the way to help for the cancer. Why? We already talking a little bit yesterday. Each main organ in our body has many organ systems. But each organ, it works together hand in hand. It has the color, it has the flavor go together. Especially the liver has to work with the gallbladder hand in hand. And the color for that is the green, and the flavor for that is salty. So that's why, and we're already talking about the liver has to take too many, has to respond for too many tasks. And this is one of the top one, had to taking care of too many tasks, so it usually worn out, overworked. So by using lemon or apple cider, we were talking about that, I was saying for you the apple cider vinegar. It was helpful for not only to melt out the fatty acid or the bad cholesterol, it helps to boost up the immune system. Why is that? It just directly get into here and clean up. When it clean up the gallbladder and the liver, immune system stronger because it works directly to the immune system, to the circulation system, to the digestive system. Very common sense, you see. So if we know how to use it correctly, it becomes benefit. It's nothing wrong, but because the people have a wrong concept. Again, mushroom, 5 star.
So that means it's a
The
big
way
problem.
we cook, right? If we dry in the wrong environment, because it's very negative, and you know that a lot of fungus, the wrong one out there, and that is airborne, and the law of abstraction come in because it's too negative, and it abstracts all the airborne fungus in there, and then it attacks to that. First, secondly, it's very negative, it's very yin. So if we cook it in the soup incorrectly, if we combine with too many zinc stuff, it becomes too cold, it makes our body chilly and it gets sluggish. But if we know how to do it, add more energy, cook in the right way, eat in the morning, okay, we have a benefit because it has a lot of nutrition.
If you steam it, is that okay?
Steam better than cook in the soup, but we we bake it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we bake it and we eat in the morning or at lunchtime. It's better in the evening. The same thing like the ocean.
So,
It's like the same with the lemon.
are you saying that list is wrong then for the lemon and the
No, it's not
mushrooms?
wrong because people have the wrong concept and they use the wrong time and
Yes.
sometimes they abuse. On this one we should not because it tastes good, right? It's sweet, it's very delicious, and then we try to abuse. If we take once in a while, it's good. But and then when we abuse it, it's a
It's
problem.
delicious then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Delicious.
When I was in Vietnam, it was always shitoki mushrooms were the best for cancer.
Yeah,
Why
that
is
is-
shitoki mushroom so good?
Yeah, that's right. And the mushroom, it have many types. It have a shiitake. That is the best one because it not only have nutrition, it's zinc. So we know when we have a big tumor, because the big tumor, that means the energy it be concentrate. Remember, that means the energy concentrates on the cell. So we need zinc to neutralize that. Also, that mushroom it have an anti-cancer, antiviral, anti-tumor. So when we know how to use it, it will have benefit. But if we overuse and abuse it, it has a problem. And then also, because when we say mushroom in general, and people say, okay, it have many kind of mushroom, and you know, it have a very toxic mushroom. So be careful. The same thing for soy product. It's very good in terms of protein, in terms of anti-cancer, but it's very, very lean. So if we take it in the evening, no good. If we overuse that, we will have a gout disease. The same thing like you have, we eat beef steak, we eat protein, we eat meat. Because the concentration of protein in the soy is higher than in the beef, in the meat. So people are vegetable, and the people, vegan people can say, okay, I don't eat meat now, I eat protein in the soy. So they abuse that. And they come out with maybe worse than people eat meat because it's zinc instead the other is yang. they need it more yang, so it have more energy, it won't. So that's why okay, we need to be careful. Alright, so I think enough, and I will send for you this one and you can study. Alright?
Can I ask about tomatoes? Because we use a lot of tomatoes. So tomato has 6 stars. Is it it's very, very bad?
The tomato. Okay, one more, that's it, okay? Okay, over time here. The tomato, it's really good. It becomes a structure. It's like a heart, it has some compartment and it has the heart, the cardiac tissue and the layer and the texture, and also it has a red color that is correlated to the heart. So actually, naturally, it's really good. Why we had 6 stars? First, because nowadays, you know, the technology to grow the tomato is very terrible. They use first genetic. Secondly, they use chemical to grow it. And instead of before, okay, we had the tomato grow up, now it grow down, right? So that means, okay, if you round, okay, our heart become bigger and it extend and it becomes a burden. That is one thing. The other thing, the nature already create everything in perfect unit. That means the tomato, it have the contact, it has the seed, it has the peel, it has the flesh, it has the juice. So it not only helps for the heart, for the liver, for the kidney, for the intestine. And in the juice, it will help because a little bit salty, so it will direct into the liver, right? And in a juice, it will go to the kidney to help to boost up for the filter rate in the kidney. The color and the juice go into the heart to get the heart beat strong, to clear up on the obstruction, to help for the circulation and the elimination factor. And then when we are a normal person, the healthy one, so all that balance. So if we use that one, it will stimulate the liver too much. So that's why the seed of the tomato, it has to come in to try to hold on, try to counterbalance the overactivity of the liver. And the peel, it has a lot of oxalate crystal form. So it goes into the kidney to hold on the kidney function a little bit. So it not overstimulate the liver and the kidney. So it automatically counter it, rebalance it, neutral, right? But and then now, because our liver overworked already, it's tired already, if we eat the complete one, the seed of tomato will block the liver. If we eat the whole tomato with the peel, the kidney already overworked with a lot of calcium deposit on the inorganic substance by the way we cook them, in the preservative, in the chemical they add on. So too much calcium, too much mineral cannot be used by the body, eliminate through the kidney. So now if the oxalate crystal get into that, means it blocks the kidney, it makes the stone, it makes the gout disease. So that's why if we eat completely tomato, like the old concept, it becomes a burden for the liver, becomes a burden for the kidney. So the correct way to eat the tomato now, first we have to select the good tomato, the way they grow correctly. Secondly, we have to dip in the hot water to remove the peel, eliminate oxalate crystal form. We have to cut it out and we throw away the seed. So we just take the juice of the flat only. So that becomes the correct way to eat tomato, and you go help the heart, the liver, the kidney, and intestine. So
Always vitamin C as
Too
well.
much information.
again, vitamin C. If we eat vitamin C
Yeah.
naturally,
Yeah.
it's good. It will boost up immune system, it will help for the blood pressure, it will clean up the system, the circulation system. But the problem now, because people think about that, we advertise that to the abuse, and most of the vitamin we use now is the synthetic vitamin C. Alright? Secondly, if we not know the vitamin C, it will crystallize, become a kidney stone. So if we take in the morning, no problem. But if we take in the evening, and we don't move, especially now, okay, we become more lazy than in the old time. So it crystallizes, it becomes crystal, it becomes stone. So be careful with that.
We're going to need a university degree to be able to cook for ourselves, it seems to me.
Yes.
That's why they say, okay, if you want to be the millionaire, just go and collect the urine from America. Americans abuse too much vitamin. And all that eliminate through the urine. So just want to be a millionaire, just collect the urine of American. Because our mother yield about 10, 100 times around the amount.
You can extract the vitamin from it. When you say collect the urine from the Americans, how are we going to use it financially by extracting the vitamins from it? Sell it back to her.
Send it back to them, yeah. It'd be crazy to buy them, yeah. I can't wait to buy them.
And I think BBC they already had this one the documentary film on this one, I think a decade ago or something about it.
Oh.
Yeah, because when the cancer coming out a lot of people think, okay, vitamin will help, especially vitamin C. But then the wrong concept, depend on the way we use, depend on the salt we use, etc. The same thing like calcium. Okay, so now most people have osteoporosis, especially for women after menopause. But the way we use calcium incorrectly, so it turned out we had a lot of problems with the bone and arthritis, and then the deformation of our skeletal system. You see, if we don't know it, sometimes when we use it incorrectly, it becomes more burden, more problem than the benefit.
Are you saying the synthetic vitamin C is a different structure? It's the same structure, isn't it, as the natural one?
The same structure, but it's different affinity. Remember, it's different affinity, and our body is very smart.
Okay.
It has nothing to use. It has to borrow temporary.
Yeah.
But it's because that is the structure. But remember, our body, even though we have this physical body, but this physical body can do nothing without the reaction. And even though all the biochemistry reaction, it still has to be conducted and regulated by the central nervous system. And behind that, it still has the natural force, and that natural force is very, very intelligent. So you can trade, you can hide that from the people, but you cannot hide from our own system. They know right away. They know right away. That's why when the bacteria or the virus multiply, they use that to trick the virus. But the virus, after a very short time frame, they know how to detect it right away. So even though the virus is very tiny organism, it's smart already. How about us? We are like million years evolution, so we must smart than the virus.
I guess